Hello. The second lesson is the condition and conditional sentences. So, conditional sentences are made up of two types. The first part includes the condition introduced by if, which is the reason for the other part, or the second part, which is the consequence. The second part includes the consequences, which is the result of the first part. Conditional sentences correspond to four situations. Situation number one is what we call it type 0. So when we use type 0, of course, we use the type 0 when the condition expresses a general fact, a rule, or a rule. So a general fact means something which is real, something which is or experimented by scientists in laboratories, or experimented by scientists in laboratories. Of course, it cannot be only something which is experimented by scientists in laboratories. It can be a fact like, for example, the historical events are facts. Type 0, the form of type 0, or the tense used in the two parts, is the present simple. For example, if you heat ice, it melts. And of course, in the conditional sentences, it does not matter if you have the result first, then the condition, then the condition. Situation number 2, which is type 1. Type 1, when the consequence of the condition is in the future or the result is probable. It means when we are not sure about the action, if it may happen or not. So here we are not sure about the action. We are just predicting or expecting. We are predicting or expecting. We are not sure about the action totally. So this is the situation number 2, or type 1. Type 1, yes, of course, concerning its form, the reason includes the reason, or the condition includes the present simple, and the second part, which is the consequence, includes the future simple. For example, if it rains, I will use an umbrella. And here the condition is probable. We are not sure. We are not totally sure whether it rains really or not. Another example of type 1. If I work hard, I will succeed. And here we are not sure that I will succeed or not. Situation number 3, which is type 2. So when we use type 2, we use type 2 when we talk about an imagination in general, or an imagination in the present. We use type 2 when we talk about an imagination, when imagine something, either in general or in the present situation, So what is the form of type 2? What is the form of type 2? Of course, we have the reason, or the first part includes the present conditional. So what is the present conditional? The present conditional is would plus stem. Would plus stem. Sorry. So we use the first part includes the past simple in the condition and the present conditional in the consequence, which is the second part. For example, if I had money, I would help the poor. And of course, the condition here includes an imagination. So we are imagining, for example, if I had the money now, it is an imagination in the present situation. If I had the money now, I would help the poor. So here we are imagining, and of course we used the past simple in the first part and the the present conditional in the second part. So in the first part we used had um, the verb have in the past, and in the second part or the consequence we used would help. It means would plus the stem, a verb without its infinitive, would help, which is the conditional present, present. And of course, situation number 4, which is the last situation, which is type 3. When we use type 3, when we talk about an imagination in the past, or regret. So this is cases of use of the situation number 3, which is the last situation, and the situation number 4. For example, if I had woken up early, I would not have missed the bus. And yes, and we can inverse, for example, I would not have missed the bus if had woken up. So here in the conditional sentences we can inverse the second part with the first part, but be careful when we inverse in, we don't put a comma at the middle. We don't put a comma at the middle because simply because simply if here is not at the beginning of the sentence, it is at the middle, and when if at the middle, of course there is no comma. So this is what the rule says. That's all pupils. I wish you a good luck.